Hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Lisa Radl. Today I will present to you the Leibniz-WissenschaftsCampus project, Debiasing Social Media Use. To start things off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the theoretical background of our research. We mostly base our research on two very common human biases. One is that we prefer like-minded information, so information that backs up our own beliefs and attitudes. The other one is that we prefer like-minded others, so people who agree with our attitudes and worldviews. Sunstein 2007 now proposed his echo chamber hypothesis, which states that the more we discuss with like-minded others, the more extreme our attitudes will be. This hypothesis has been supported by research concerning group polarization as well as thought polarization. And this would be dangerous because it also suggests a fragmentation of society into echo chambers. Our project had two main objectives. One was to verify Sunstein's echo chamber hypothesis in the field. Here we carried out a Twitter study in which we tried to locate echo chambers in our dataset using sentiment analysis. The other one was to research the role of cognitive interfaces when it comes to attitude change and attitude polarization. Here we asked the question how the design of an interface influences a user's attitude. Here the studies were carried out in an experimental setting, and we specifically focused on the role of feedback elements like likes and dislikes. Regarding echo chambers in the field, we carried out a Twitter study. Our dataset contained tweets from 173,559 users, and we collected those tweets using the hashtags Trump and Brexit. In our statistical model, we had three predictors. One was the sentiment of the user, one was the sentiment of the user's friends, and one was the interaction between both. If the sentiment aligned, you got a positive value. If it didn't, you got a negative one. Our main dependent variable was the extremity of the user's tweet. Our analysis showed that the most important predictor for a person's extremity was the sentiment of the person, her or himself. Therefore, we found a kind of self-polarization or negativity bias. Now coming to the role of cognitive interfaces. Like I said in the beginning, we were focusing on likes and dislikes. We chose to focus on this feedback element because it's quite common in online forums, and it also easily communicates the group norm within a forum. And if this norm is in line with a person's attitude, you would expect a higher conformity and also attitude change into a more polarized direction. And if it is not in line with the group norm, you would expect disengagement, for example, by leaving the forum, or maybe just identifying less with the group members in the forum, and maybe also an attitude change into a more depolarized position. To research the effects that likes and dislikes have on a person's attitude change, we carried out 3 laboratory studies. In those 3 studies, we used 2 different kinds of manipulations. In 2 studies, participants received direct feedback towards their own forum contribution. So this feedback could either be mostly positive, mostly negative, or mixed. In one study, they observed the reaction of a forum to another person's post. Here the feedback could either be mostly positive or mostly negative. We had 2 main dependent variables. One was attitude change, which we assessed in 2 different ways. One was explicitly asking participants to rate their attitude towards the topic on a scale from 1 to 6. They had to do this before and after the manipulation. The other one was their attitude expression. Here we asked them to shortly write a paragraph about their opinion towards the topic. After that, they received the manipulation, and then they were presented with what they had written before, and they got the opportunity to revise the post. We did expect that if they got a mostly positive reaction towards their own attitude or towards what they had written themselves, they would show an attitude shift into a more extreme direction. If they got a negative feedback, we expected to see an attitude shift into a more depolarized direction. The second dependent variable was the forum engagement, which we measured by simply asking participants how much they identify with the members of the forum. They had to rate this on a scale from 1 to 6. And we did expect that when participants get a mostly positive reaction from the forum, that they would show a higher identification. If they got a mostly negative reaction from the forum, they should show a lower level of identification. Our results showed that the reaction of the forum did not have a strong effect on the attitude of the participants. So regardless of whether the feedback was neutral, negative, or positive, there was not a huge difference between the three groups in attitude change. The same accounted in study 2. And in study 3, it also did not matter whether participants were in a forum that mostly reacted positive towards their own attitude or in a forum that reacted mostly negative to their attitude. Concerning forum identification, we did find an effect of feedback. So in study 1, when the forum mostly responded positively towards a person's post, they showed a significantly higher level of forum identification. In study 2, participants showed lower levels of forum identification when the reaction of the forum towards their post was mostly negative. And in study 3, participants who were within a forum that reacted mostly positive towards their own attitude, they again showed a higher level of forum identification. So in conclusion, our studies found that the feedback did have an effect on the identification with the forum. So if the reaction of the forum was positive, people identified more with the forum, and if it was negative, they identified less. However, the idea that feedback leads to attitude change could not be confirmed. Therefore, our initial idea to work on an alternative way of a feedback mechanism for social media had to be abandoned, and we had to think about a new study design. So we still wanted to answer the questions: how can we design interfaces to lead to more debiased attitudes? In one of our studies, we found that participants who made changes to their posts showed depolarized attitudes. Therefore, we came up with a new design idea for an experiment which would ask participants to write a short post, again stating their opinion towards a certain topic. And after that, they will receive a feedback concerning the negativity of their post. Here we're leaning on the results of the Twitter study, in which we found this negativity bias, that the more negative a tweet was, the more extreme it also was. After they received this negativity feedback, they would again get the opportunity to revise their post before they definitely post it into the forum. And we would hope that this negativity feedback motivates people to make changes to their post, and by doing so also depolarize their attitudes. With this, I thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to write me. My email address is presented on the slide. On the left, you have a cute puppy picture of my dog to kind of brighten up the current corona atmosphere, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy.